4 people are dead following a crash Friday night in Ottawa County. We'll take you to the Freeman 5K benefiting the Bill and Virginia Leflin Center for Autism. The latest as states prepare to resume use of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
4 people are dead following a crash Friday night in Ottawa County. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Chris Warner. Officials with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol say 2 cars collided along US 69 near 630 Road, just north of Quapaw. One of the cars was driven by 28-year-old Caitlin Keibel from Quapaw. She was pronounced dead at the scene, along with 2 of her 5 passengers, a 7-year-old girl from Miami and a 10-year-old boy from Quapaw. 3 other children, ages 3, 7, and 8, were admitted to Freeman Hospital in stable condition. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. This crash has also had an impact on our KOAM family, as the driver of the other car, 30-year-old Charles C. Everly of Miami, was killed in the crash. Charles C. always had a smile on her face and a kind thing to say, and she was a pleasure to work with, and she will be deeply missed by those who knew her. And our hearts go out to all of the families that were impacted by this crash, and certainly a somber day here at the station today.
Yeah, she was a joy to just have around in general, be it work or just to have someone to talk to.
Yeah, she was always great, always listened very well, so it was just fantastic to have known her. And
yeah. But on the other hand, I'm sure she had a big hand in brightening up our skies.
It did. It went from cloudy to really nice this afternoon.
Yeah, and glad to see the rain chances clear out too. I'm seeing a completely clear scan on the radar network right now. All the rain moved out of central and southern parts of Missouri, northern parts of Arkansas throughout the course of the late morning hours. Now all that mess is deep into the southeast, where they'll have severe weather to contend with this evening. For us, we'll just have mostly clear skies, but with the moisture still on the ground, we could see some patchy fog develop during the overnight hours. But for this evening, we're looking okay. We're seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, mild and nice outside with a light north breeze. And as we go through the overnight, temperatures will drop once we hit sunset. 60 degrees by 8, 51 by midnight. Kind of a cool start with lows in the mid 40s. And again, any patchy fog that wants to develop, Chris, will come after midnight tonight. Still looking quiet and nice for tomorrow and Monday, but I'm checking our next storm system on the way in. We'll track that for you here in a bit, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you. Earlier today, Freeman held a race for autism awareness. More than 700 people registered for the event, which raises money for their program development and scholarship fund. The run had to be virtual last year, and they say they're excited to be back in person for it this year.
I think people are just excited to be together again. We're being safe, we're wearing masks, we're doing COVID waivers, but I think it's the first time that all of us have been able to be together as a community, and it's a great event to be able to support.
Tonight, we'll hear more about how this event benefits and brings awareness to those with autism. Well, several small earthquakes have rattled north-central Kansas. The largest had a magnitude of 3.5 and was reported Friday in Jewell County. 2 other quakes measuring 2.3 and 2.5 on the Richter scale were recorded today in Smith County, while a third with a magnitude of 2.5 was reported again in Jewell County. No reports of damage. The threshold for damage usually starts at a magnitude 4.0. New York, Virginia, Indiana, Michigan, and Arizona are among states starting to resume using the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine. The CDC and FDA late Friday lifted a temporary pause prompted by safety concerns. CBS News correspondent Michael George reports from New York.
After more than a week in limbo, Johnson & Johnson's single-shot vaccine is back in play. Late Friday, the CDC and the FDA announced they're lifting the pause in using the vaccine, saying it was found to be safe and effective.
Together, both agencies have full confidence that this vaccine's known and potential benefits outweigh its known and potential risks.
Millions of doses were placed on hold after a handful of women, most under the age of 50, developed a rare and dangerous type of blood clot. The CDC has so far identified 15 cases. 3 were fatal. During the announcement, CBS chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook asked whether the pause has had any impact on confidence in the J&J vaccine.
I actually think that this pause conveyed that we are taking every one of these needles and haystacks that we find seriously, and that we're really examining, scrutinizing the data that we're seeing.
The U.S. has recently been averaging around 60,000 new COVID cases a day.
We're flat with 700 deaths a day. So it's not like we're in a particularly great place.
Still, people are yearning for a taste of life as it was before the pandemic.
There's nothing like the smell of the popcorn and just being in the theater and just enjoying and actually having the interaction of other people.
This week, several movie theaters reopened in the Atlanta area. And now that he's fully vaccinated, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell plans to once again hug players and draft prospects. The decision was announced ahead of the NFL draft, which kicks off next Thursday. Michael George, CBS News.
The number of COVID cases so far has surpassed the 32 million mark in the United States. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes, Private First Class Charles Curl Sr. The Veneta native served in the Army from 1942 to 46. We are proud to recognize Private First Class Charles Curl Sr., tonight's four-state hero. And that's a look at our top stories and a quick check of the forecast on the KOAM News at 6. Still ahead, we'll take a look back at some of the top medical stories of the week.
Hollywood's biggest night is going green. I'm Danya Backus with a look at how one organization is bringing sustainable fashion to the red carpet.
How poor quality sleep could be deadly, and Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccinations can resume following an 11-day pause. Elise Preston has some of the week's top health stories.
The FDA and CDC lifted the pause on the Johnson & Johnson single-dose COVID vaccine for all adults following a safety review. Use of the shot was paused while health officials examined 15 cases of highly unusual blood clots, mainly affecting women under 50. A U.S. health panel says the vaccine's benefits outweigh the serious but small risks. The CDC is recommending that pregnant women get the COVID-19 vaccine. The CDC followed more than 35,000 vaccinated pregnant people and found they experienced the same side effects as others after inoculation.
No safety concerns were observed for people vaccinated in the third trimester or safety concerns for their babies.
And not getting enough uninterrupted sleep could increase your risk of death. European researchers say unconscious wakefulness is common, but too much of it could double the chance of dying from cardiovascular issues. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Well, the fashion industry is a major cause of pollution, according to the United Nations Environment Program. And with all eyes on the Oscars red carpet Sunday, one organization is showcasing conscious fashion. Danya Backus reports from Los Angeles.
This year's Academy Awards will have a different look because of the pandemic. But for one organization, the commitment to red carpet fashion and protecting the environment remains the same.
At the Oscars, what we try and do is make sustainability really fun.
Samantha Pattinson is the CEO of Red Carpet Green Dress, a female-led organization started by Susie Amos Cameron. It's committed to driving change in the fashion industry by going green. According to the UN Alliance for Sustainable Fashion, the fashion industry is the second biggest consumer of water and is responsible for 8 to 10% of global carbon emissions, more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined.
When I think sustainability, especially when it comes to fashion, I don't necessarily think formal.
We showcase different forms of sustainability on the red carpet, from vegan, plant-based fashion across to vintage upcycled fashion.
For more than 10 years, the organization has challenged designers to create Oscar-worthy dresses with the environment in mind. The ethically custom-made gowns and tuxedos have been seen on Lea Seydoux, Bianca Bose, Zoe Deutsch, and Lakeith Stanfield. This year, they are teaming up with material innovators Tencel.
This is an organization that has developed fibers that are biodegradable, vegan, that feel like silk, that are compostable, that have reduced greenhouse gases.
Who will be wearing the Eco Couture on the red carpet this year is a surprise, but Samada says their message will be clear.
We're here to try and educate people and, if anything, empower them.
They're hoping to turn the red carpet moment into a sustainable fashion movement. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now, the Red Carpet Green Dress campaign also works with a diverse and inclusive range of talent. It believes diversity should be the standard, not the exception. Well, Nick Kelly's up next with his complete forecast.
While Mother Nature didn't give us the best start to the weekend with rain, thunderstorms, and plenty of cloud cover yesterday and into this morning, at least we finally saw things improve throughout the course of the day. What started out as a lot of cloud cover, some lingering rain this morning, now has given way to mostly sunny skies, which we'll get to enjoy as we go through the rest of the evening ahead of us. In terms of what the system left behind, it did leave some accumulating rainfall, but we see the bulk of the rainfall, a little more accumulating rainfall, right along the I-44 corridor in Missouri and Oklahoma, and another heavier pocket once you go north of Fort Scott and Nevada. Average amounts about 0.6 of an inch, and these are the likely areas where we'll at least see some patchy fog as we go into the overnight hours ahead of us. Something to keep in mind, but no threatening weather otherwise, and certainly nothing out there right now on the radar network. So we'll get to enjoy mostly clear skies this evening with patchy fog in spots developing overnight. Thankfully, we're quiet and mild for your Sunday, warm for Monday with lower 80s on the docket. Then we have our next storm system that wants to bring us rain and thunderstorm chances that we'll definitely need to keep an eye on. In the meantime, though, the last of the cloud cover still breaking up from our station's rooftop, but everyone's looking good. Partly to mostly sunny skies, 67 to drop with the north breeze at 12, gusting to 21, and the humidity dropping off now that we're seeing that storm system move on out. Most of us in the mid to upper 60s at 6:16 on this Saturday evening. We've been a little cooler today than normal because of that north wind behind the front at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. But look at the wind out across central and western parts of Kansas. That's shifting out of the south. That's a southerly breeze that will really kick into gear tomorrow. But with a light breeze tonight, temperatures will quickly fall through the 50s by 10 o'clock, 51 by midnight. Kind of a cool start with mid-40s. And again, patchy fog possible in spots as we go through the overnight. At least we're not dealing with the storm system anymore. It's prompting severe weather mainly across southern parts of Alabama and Georgia, while we have high pressure sliding over us to keep us quiet for the next few days. But this is our next cold front on the way in with, of course, this upper low that will help to bring in better chances for rain and storms again by the time we head toward Tuesday and certainly through the middle of the week. So as far as this evening goes, again, mostly clear, no problems this evening, but overnight, can't rule out some patchy areas of fog as temperatures take another dip back into the mid-40s. I think most of us drop off to about 45. A south breeze light to start the day, but they kick into gear at 10 to 20 with gusts through 25. Fortunately, that's a milder breeze, pushing us to 67 by noon. Afternoon highs in Joplin around 74. In fact, I think everyone's fair game to go mid-70s for the afternoon tomorrow. So, mild, looking good for Sunday. Monday, a little more cloud cover, sure, but we'll push into the lower 80s for afternoon highs. Then here comes that cold front and that upper level system out west. That'll try to bring in some strong, maybe severe storms late Tuesday evening into Tuesday night, and we'll continue with rain and thunderstorm chances for Wednesday and Thursday. As far as what that system will do with temperatures, thankfully not much of a cool down at least. 74 tomorrow, 82 Monday. We'll say 78 Tuesday, near 70 Wednesday, mid-60s on Thursday. Thankfully, Chris, that's a temporary cool down if you want to call it that even, because we'll be back in the lower 70s by the weekend.
It's not a bad looking forecast overall. It's definitely more seasonable, it seems. Some warmer temperatures, thunderstorms.
Yeah, that's more like spring compared to the cooler days we've had to put up with.
I'm looking forward to it. Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, it's the final meet of the season for Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern track and field athletes prior to the MIAA Outdoor Championships. Plus, Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern are two of the top teams in the MIAA. Today, they go head-to-head for the first and only time in the regular season. Danny Terzer has those highlights next.
Carl Junction baseball is riding the high of a 4-3 walk-off win against the #1 team in the state. Head coach Jake Stevenson says he's hoping his team takes that momentum into their upcoming schedule of games. Today is the first opportunity to do so as the Bulldogs take on the 6-4 Pittsburgh Purple Dragons. In the first, Cole Jamison in the gap. That brings home 2. Next batter, Blaine Dunstan sends it out to left. Tyler Sutton rounds third and heads home. Then Matt Cercero grounds out, but that will let Jamison score. Pittsburgh up 4 after the first inning. To the second, Jamison again, another RBI for him as Cooper Ratzlaff comes in. CJ now, the wild pitch gives Dylan Eck time to come home, but the Bulldogs still trail by 5. Pittsburgh will finish this one out, winning 6-4. Rivals Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern kick off a 3-game weekend series today. The Gorillas are ranked 4th in the MIAA, while the Lions have 3 more conference wins, putting them at number 2. PSU hosts the series in Game 1 of a doubleheader. Aaron Gerds here kills it down the left field line. He goes for 3, and he's safe. Then Garrett McGowan, nice bunt, brings Gerds home. Score is even. Lions now, Joe Kinder gets a base knock, and Tommy Stevenson scores. Missouri Southern quickly takes back the lead. In the 7th, Gerds flies out to center. Troy Gagnon is there. He launches it home. Caleb Carr is out. Big play, the Lions save their lead. After 13 innings though, PSU wins 3-2 with a walk-off double by Caleb Carr. Next game, this one low scoring as well. It's currently 2-1 PSU in the 7th. Joe Kinder has a home run for the Lions. He leads the team with 11, and Garrett McGowan's got one for the Gorillas. Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State track and field athletes will be competing today in the final meet before the MIAA Outdoor Championships. The Gorillas are hosting the final tune-up. In the men's javelin, Brett Thompson already secured an automatic qualifying mark. He wins today with a throw of 232 feet 5 inches. PSU also finishes at the top in the women's long jump. Trace Mosby in second. Asia Anderson here gets first place with a jump of 19 feet 5 inches. The full results from today's events can be found on the sports page at KOAMNewsNow.com. Missouri Southern football wraps up its first spring under head coach Atiba Bradley this afternoon. The Lions played 1 game this spring, a 21-20 win over Southern Nazarene last month. Today they finish up with their annual green and gold scrimmage. Starting in the 2nd, Dawson Hurl rolls out and airs it out to Reggie Hemphill for the first down. That sets up this. Hurl to Hemphill again. This time it's in the end zone for the opening score. Green leads 7-0. Ensuing possession, Travier Fields-Jackson takes it up the gut for the touchdown. Game tied up at 7 at half. To the 3rd, the handoff to Taylor Thomas for the TD. The white team gets the win, 21-7.
I think the biggest thing was the effort. The effort was there. Guys are flying around. Guys are trying to be physical. Guys are trying to be tough. That was the number one thing we'll applaud. But there was some errors there that we just got to get cleaned up.
That's a look at sports. We'll be right back with more news.
Tonight on the KOAM News at 10, we'll have the latest on the crash in Ottawa County that claimed 4 lives. Plus, KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky takes us to the Freeman 5K to benefit the Bill and Virginia Lefland Center for Autism. And we'll have more on a special fundraiser in Pittsburgh. Those stories and a lot more tonight at 10. Couldn't have asked for a better end to Saturday. That sun came out and boy, it warmed up.
And there's a whole lot more of it to enjoy tomorrow as we wrap up the weekend, Chris. Let's go mostly sunny tomorrow. Most spots around 74, 82 for a warm start to the work week and school week on Monday. Then our next storm system with rain and storm chances Tuesday through Thursday. We'll have another look at that system coming up at 10, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. And that's our time for now. Our next news time is at 9 on Fox 14. Of course, we'll see you back here at 10 on KOAM. And to stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports anytime, anywhere, you can do that at KOAMNewsNow.com with the KOAM News Now app. And thanks for making us part of your night.